Big Lou Wagner. Rondé said he was going to speak for like 5 minutes. Next thing I know, I'm like, I got to follow that? That's awesome. He's got another brother. I don't have any brothers. He's got a brother that's played all these years in the NFL. It's unbelievable. Hey, first off, I just want to thank Ed. Thanks a lot, man, for putting this together. The Honors Court. This is wonderful. It really is. I am so humbled to be up here with Tisha and David, Big Lou. Can we get another cheer for Marty Miller over here? One more time for Big Marty Miller. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Love Latasha, Rondé. But I tell you what, what's funny was I was with Marty today and we were signing over there. You're the mayor of the area. Everyone's like, hey, what's up, Marty? Everyone knew you. No one knew me, but everyone knew you. I was glad. Then when you walked in and the place almost erupted, this place almost came down. So it was great. I can't wait to hear your speech. It better be good. It better be good, Marty. You're setting the bar really high for everybody around here. That's all I know. Hey, I was being over at the Hall of Fame today. Wow, was that humbling. And see all the guys that are here tonight. I mean, it really, truly is humbling to be going into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, there are so many great players that have come through Virginia in some capacity, and it's amazing. A lot of you guys are here in this room tonight, and I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. I just want to thank real quick some of the guys, some of my teammates that came up from Richmond. Shawnee Ryan, Mikey Walton, Kevin Brady, the big boss man. Mr. Brady, Mike Brady, you're the best, brother. Thanks for driving to Lynchburg, Virginia. Thanks for driving up, man. Bob Black's here. Coach Tarrant, great seeing you, Coach Tarrant. I still tell everyone, you're the giant killers back in the day. All those guys getting caught in the web. Bob Black, Chuck Boone, you're one of the greatest guys around, man. And you know everybody around here. You're obviously like the president of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, so it's good to know you, big man. Jason Morris, Jazz, love you guys. Hey, listen, my story's I was the kid that didn't run that fast. If they had said there were 5 tool players were the best, I was kind of that one tool guy. I could hit. And I was coming up from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I had no college scholarships offers, no D3, D2, D1. And at the end of my high school, my senior year, I'm like, man, it looks like I'm not going to college to play baseball. So much for the big leagues. How about that? Nobody wants me. So my dad was like, hey, listen, if they don't want you, go to them. And he's like, you got to market yourself. And I was like, what's that mean? He's like, you got to start writing some letters. Okay, you got to market yourself. I'm a senior in high school. I know what that meant. So he was like, geez, this is good education we're getting here in Pittsburgh. So I wrote out 30 letters. Penn State, Clemson, Florida State. I wrote all the places I want to play, right? And at the end, my dad said, hey, why don't you send one to the University of Richmond? They had sent you a brochure last year, and that's all they said was a brochure. I don't even know who I was, but I was like, all right, I'm going to send these guys a letter to University of Richmond. So sure enough, send out all these letters, 30 handwritten letters. Crickets, nothing back. I'm like, hey, great idea with the marketing, Dad. This worked out good for us. So sure enough, it's like the end of my senior year, and Rondé's talk about preparation being the opportunity was my dad's message my whole life. And since I was 14 years old, he used to give me tokens every day after school, and he said, you know what, if you go to the batting cage every day, I'll keep buying you tokens. And every day after school, I hit and hit and hit and hit and hit. And I thought to myself, man, that didn't work out too good. I'm all the way in my senior year. Those tokens haven't paid off, too well. And my dad always said, hey, listen, an opportunity will present itself at some point, and you want to be prepared when it does. So it was probably 4 games to go in my senior year in high school. I went 4 for 4, probably the best high school game I ever had. 4 for 4 doubles, drove in 8 runs, and I was walking out to first base, and my high school coach, Jerry Markey, says, hey, Case, he's like, well, how many hits do you have? I said, I got 4 hits. I got 8 RBIs, I got 4 doubles. He said, that's great, because Coach Mark McQueen, University of Richmond pitching coach, drove 6 hours today to see you play. And I was like, hey, my dad was right. That worked out good. But I didn't know if that was going to get me a scholarship or anything like that. And Coach Mack said, hey, really, really impressed with how you swing the bat. And Not so impressed about how you run, but impressed how you swing the bat. And sure enough, 3 days later, he said he talked to Coach Atkins, and I got a pretty small scholarship offer, about $1,000. But hey, I was in the door. That's all that mattered. I think we took a second mortgage out on the house to go to Richmond. I'm like, Dad, how are we gonna pay for this school? He's like, we'll figure it out. Just go there and get that piece of paper. I'm like, all right, that's cool. So, sure enough, I am so grateful to the University of Richmond. I really am. To this day, it was a stepping stone for me to give me an opportunity to play Division I baseball. I ended up starting my freshman year, freshman All-American, and Coach Atkins gave me $2,000 more. I was so grateful he did that. That's what freshman All-American gets you, 1 to 3. And then I was fortunate enough, my sophomore year, my junior year, we ended up going to the regionals, won the NCAA batting title. One of the, some of the greatest memories of my life were that junior season, just the team we had, the school rallying around us. It was something that I'll never forget. And that place is something that really propelled me, to play those years in the big leagues and some of the greatest memories, that I'll ever have had. Get back to my place here. Hang on, let me check my notes out. So we're talking about my dad. As I got to the big leagues, he was the guy. He's always kind of the guy who was always critiquing me too. So it was probably like, and the one person I want to recognize tonight, because she's the one that always kind of flies under the radar, is my mom. My mom joined me tonight, Joan Casey. We drove down together. It was an interesting hearing. But it's funny because I love baseball because my dad loved baseball. I wanted to play in the big leagues because my dad, we loved going to Pirates games together. We loved Major League Baseball. But every time I'd call home sometimes when I'd mess up, if my dad answered, I'm like, here we go, There's something to tell me, like, why'd you swing at that splitter in the dirt? I'm like, because it looked like it was a fastball down the middle, That's right. I want to be like, Dad, you come check out Hideo Nomo's split and tell me if it doesn't look like it. You come hit Randy Johnson's slider, it's 92, looks like it's behind you, then it comes in for a strike. Why don't you come try it out one time? So, this one time when I'm in Chicago, we're playing the Cubs in Wrigley, and I tell you what, if you've ever been there to Wrigley, you don't know what the Windy City for a reason, especially in baseball. That ball goes up, you have no idea where it's going to land, So this one time, I swear, Sammy Sosa hits a ball as high as you've ever seen a ball being hit to shortstop, and I'm like, oh man, okay, Barry Larkin's going to have this one. And then I'm like, oh my God, that ball's coming to me. So it starts drifting, and then I look up, and then it just starts, and I swear I saw 3 balls. I was coming down like, so I'm all the way over by the first base dugout. I'm like, how the hell did I get to the first base dugout? That ball was going to left field. So sure enough, I get under it, put my one hand up, boom, clank, bam, iron skillet, ball pops out. So I'm like, it's unbelievable. Keeps the inning going. Next pitch, bam, Sammy Sosa, 3-run bomb. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I call home, and who answers? My dad answers. I'm like, oh man, what's up, Dad? He's like, hey, you missed the golden rule, huh? I'm like, what's that? Treat people the way you want to be treated? He's like, no. He's like, 2 hands. So I was like, can you put Mom on the phone real quick? For all those years calling home, I don't think my mom and I talked baseball one time. And Mom, forever, I think that's why I lasted 12 years in the big leagues, because you answered the phone more than Dad did, and you didn't have to talk baseball. So thank you. And one other quick story, then I'm going to wrap up. I told Ed I'd be quick. Here I go. I thought I was going to be quick. So I wasn't known for my speed, which is great because I had about 1,600 hits in the big leagues, and they were all legit. No infield hits. You try doing that. You try being a career 300 hitter with no infield hits. That's tough to do. I'll tell you that right now. Ichiro would have like 1,000 hits if he wasn't as fast as he was. So this one time in '08, we're in Boston, and I hit a missile in the gap, and I'm like, there it is. That thing's out of here. And it's in right center gap. We're playing the Orioles, and I'm rounding first base, and I'm kind of, I'm not like pimping it, but I'm like, that's definitely out of here. Well, around at first. Turns out it wasn't out of here. It hit the top of the fence, right? Bounces back, and Nick Markakis has a cannon. So Nick Markakis, boom, he comes over. He's in the gap. He's not like, right field. He's in the right center gap at Fenway. He gets the ball off the fence, boom, he turns, comes up firing, and I'm running to second like, oh, buddy, I'm going to be thrown out. I can't believe it. So here I go to second base, bam, Markakis throws him literally out by like 20 feet, legit. Like, it was so bad. It was like, I'm like, geez. Freaking, I'm coming off the field, and Terry Francona grabs me. He's like, Case. He's like, hey, I'll talk to you real quick. I'm like, yeah. What's up, Tito? He's like, do you have polio? I was like, I might have polio. I haven't got checked for it, but I might have it. I'm not sure. So, thank God it could hit. Hey, in close, one more. So the other day I'm with, there's another good one. I have a 12-year-old, 11-year-old son, and we're watching NFL Network, and bam, you ever see the Football Life pops on, and then Rondé and Tiki are on there. I'm like, hey. So my sons are sitting next to me, and they kind of think they don't even know I played. I retired. They were 6 and 5. And, they kind of think I'm a bum. So we're sitting there watching TV, and Rondé and Tiki are on there talking, doing their thing. They're sitting next to each other, bouncing all the stories, how, they love each other and all that stuff. And I tell my kids, I'm like, hey, you see that guy right there? And they're like, they both look the same, Dad. I'm like, no, the one on the left. The one on the left. That guy's name is Rondé Barber. You can take a good look at him. He's going into Canton here soon. One of the greatest football players ever. I had to pump up Rondé to make sure the kids knew I was cool too. So I'm like, your dad's going in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame with him next week. And they were like, really? You're so cool, Dad. I was like, that's right. So I want to thank you guys for having such a good career. You know what I mean? My kids, because of you guys, with the trek you had in life, now my kids think I'm cool. I can't thank you enough. Hey, the bottom line at the end of the day is we're all here because of relationships. And all those years in the big leagues, and all those years at University of Richmond, and the years up in Pittsburgh in high school, it's all about relationships, and it's all about the relationships that we've made. And I know all you guys feel the same way with the people in here, and I feel like my journey to the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame and my journey through the big leagues and through life, and as I go on in life, and a dad to my kids and a husband to my wife is those relationships. So I feel like we've developed a relationship tonight, and hopefully for many more years moving forward we'll have that relationship. I can't thank you enough. So humbled to be going in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Have a great night and have some beers later.